So the story of President Trump campaigning on steel issues is very interesting. He made promises to steelworkers, to unions, to voters in Rust Belt states like Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, that he would fight back against foreign steel, and especially against China and any so-called steel underselling, because that has caused massive layoffs in the steel industry in 2015 and 2016.
The World Trade Organization, another one of our disasters. But this election, the American people voted to end the theft of American prosperity.
Steel underselling is technically known as dumping under international trade law. And what it means is that a home producer, say in China, exports their steel at under the cost of production or under the price they're selling at in China. And what that does is that it creates disruption in other markets and it exports unemployment. Because what it essentially does is China keeps running its mills and they have to sell it at a cheap price, otherwise they're going to lose Chinese steel jobs. So they ship that steel overseas to, say, America or the EU. So if the president does find that steel imports undermine national security, then he can impose tariffs, quotas, or a hybrid of the two. And that will mean big things for global trade and for the US steel industry. A quota would essentially mean, say, China can send 1 million tons of steel into the US, and that's it. Right now, steel is a free trade regime, meaning any country can send as much as it wants here. Another option for him would be to impose price restrictions. So there would be essentially tariffs and duties placed on any imports coming into the US. And what that does is it makes the steel uncompetitive, and so there are no buyers and nobody sends it here. There's going to be some consequences whatever the president does. In the first place, if he does nothing, he will be effectively backtracking on campaign promises. He could potentially lose some votes in those states in the next election. On the other hand, his decision to do something, and especially something big, it would be problematic. So the idea is that this could spark some sort of trade war between other trading partners. And so what happens is that if somebody picks on steel as something so important, often the retaliation is going to come in something else equally important. People are thinking the US exports a lot of food to the world, to nations that produce steel. What's going to happen if we restrict steel imports? Are they going to restrict agricultural imports? That's the real question, and that's one of the threats that has come up.